All right, we're live now. It's me and Adam again. We're kind of just we're doing a bunch of crosstalk here, but I guess we'll start with the same stuff that we started with last time, just to stay true to the video. So, ooh, almost. I gotta stop the. So if you're watching at home, click the HD button and make sure it's in HD. I might be a little fuzzy at first, and so might Adam, but good to see you again, Adam.
Yeah, good to see you, dude. I'm glad we get to do this again and speak some truth and expose some nonsense.
Good way of putting it.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know where to start. I do know that there's several cases. One that's years old now that ain't going away. I think I have to speak very generally about it, but I think there were certain people that thought if they threw enough money and intelligence at it that they could just make it go away, and it's just not.
Okay.
It's not. A bunch of it's not going away. The whole Nexium thing.
So why? What's special about this case that they're unable to just sweep it under the rug?
It's just disgusting. I mean, the whole thing is blown wide open and disgusting. But let me just. I found a meme that I don't think I can share on the live stream, but let me just read down the list of things that the Nexium case proved. And the Nexium case does have tentacles in England. There is something about the rainbow. It was a place where kids could be taught. But what they figured out was that they were using mind control techniques to sort of, I guess, turn these kids into something that they're not. But here we go. Nexium verdict sheet, jurors used in their decision. You get to see, it shows that. But sexual exploitation of children, proven. Child sex trafficking, proven. Child pornography, proven. Human trafficking, proven. Conspiracy, proven. Blackmail, proven. And slavery, proven. So anybody who's got this idea that conspiracy theorists are making this stuff up, you need to look no further than the Nexium case, which has its tentacles. This Nexium thing has its tentacles in Hollywood, all the way over in England. It's wild. It just, everything that we were hoping that we wouldn't have to expose has been exposed, and they're not talking about it in the media that much. They're calling it a sex cult because they want.
So how did this get exposed? What's the story here? How did this get started?
That's a good question. I don't even know. I know that it had started. Something happened. Somebody found something. It probably had something to do with Anthony Weiner's laptop.
Oh, okay.
Hey, I need to grab my coffee. Can you talk for a second? Just like bullshit for a second. I'll be right back.
Yeah, sure. So, hey there, guys. I might as well just, I guess, introduce myself because I don't really know what else to say here. Rupert's the one who knows his stuff in regards to the topic. I'm just a guy.
Sorry about that, bro.
He recently had some experiences where, God kind of came into my life, and I accepted the call, and I've just got a small channel going, and I'm just trying to spread the truth that I know. Rupert and I go back a little bit as conspiracy theorist kind of buddies, and we've kind of come back in this kind of serendipitous way, and it's so now I'm here, and this just kind of seems to be working. So that's what's going on. I just want to say, dude, on my end it says I'm off air, so I just want to make sure that we're good.
Well, let me go and check the page itself. Hang on a second. I guess we'll start with the second. Oh, wait a minute. Gosh, turn off the volume, and let's see. Nope, I see you there.
Yeah,
okay. From 22 seconds ago or so. So I think you're good.
Okay, cool.
I think I might be a little bit fuzzier than you in the broadcast itself, but that might just be interference or something. I don't know. I've had a lot of strange things happen, obviously.
Yeah, it's expected.
So I'm fine with that as long as the voices go out. I mean,
sure.
Somebody in the comments the last time we did this, because I was doing most of the talking, and then you you know, you said something, the camera popped on you, and someone was like, "Whoa, who's the beard?"
Not suggesting that you're gay, and it's no.
I don't know.
I'm more than a beard, okay, friends. There's a man.
My eyes are up here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thank you.
So, yeah, just to dovetail with what you said, I felt you asked me this question, and when we got toward the end of the live stream last time, I wasn't really answering the questions that well, I don't think. But some people did watch what we did and contacted me, and they said that we did a good job. So that's good.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Because who's first of all, who's talking about this? And second of all, who knows the stuff that people like you know and who are willing to talk about this? It's super rare. And it's super necessary. I mean, there's a few, but man, relative, like, this is necessary.
It's sort of a sideline issue for most people. I'm an unfortunate expert in this. I don't want to know this stuff. When this started, I didn't want to click it. I didn't want to know about it. I didn't want to talk about it. And I didn't want to, you know, get engaged with some of the people and things that happen on the internet as a result of being involved. But what else are you supposed to do? You know, for me, I was really down and out. A lot of strange things had happened, just more, you know, disinteresting things that I didn't want to have happened. Heartbreak, loss, stuff like that. And then I was just sort of doing my own thing, being depressed, not eating properly. And something sort of picked me up and pushed me along, was like, nope, you have to do this now. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I have to do this now. A lot of people thought I was just screwing around. They thought I was like, you know, ditching my responsibilities. They think, like, even people that know me well sort of had this like, what are you doing kind of a mentality about it. And I just,
yeah,
that's what I was built for. I think
so.
I took my civics lessons and my, you know, history lessons in school seriously. I believe in freedom, and something pushed me along to do this. And it was something, you know.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, that's like, from outside looking in, that's what I would say too. And I would say that I've had similar experiences. You've been given more of like a warrior kind of role than me, but it's that same kind of thing where it's like, look, we're both, you know, as I said before, we both believe in God. And it kind of seems like we, you know, as it says in the Bible, like, he goes before us and sets a path before us. That's what, you know, listening to you talk made me think of. And I can relate to that too. And it's like, you kind of are, it's like like a divinely ordained kind of thing. You can choose to walk away from it, but you know,
what's the fun in that?
You might get swallowed by a whale. But I think that's what happened, man. I think you just accepted the call, and I've known you for a while now, and I don't question your integrity or your morals or your intentions. You've always been like this. So.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes back as far as elementary school, this mentality that I have. They used to have this. Some of the people watching might remember in the old school that we were in, it was an old school, and they had a stoplight up in the rafters of where we would eat. And if the crowd of students got too loud, they would flip the stoplight to yellow, which meant, you know, it's a warning. And then they would flip it to red, and that means everybody had to be quiet. Well, I remember, you know, if they catch you talking, then they start, you know, writing you up, and then they make your life kind of a living hell, at least as much of a living hell as can be made for an elementary school student. I remember one time we were on silent lunch. The thing had been turned to red, and I sort of started it was like a coughing fit. And so I just was like, like, come on. And then everybody started coughing. And that
So
was
you've always been about free speech. You were fighting the censorship.
I found a way around it. Even at the tender age of like 9, I was like, well, they didn't say we couldn't cough, and that's a noise that I can make. So I started coughing, and then people were kind of looking at me funny, and I was like, no, get it? And then everybody just, the whole place sounded like a bunch of a bunch of British lawyers, really.
I was going to say dissidents. I was going to say dissidents, but yeah, that works too.
Well,
yeah, it's like this. You know, what's funny, man? I've been saying like it's this common theme with people who have been like truther conspiracy theorists. You know, it's like, you know, I say any truther is like seems to be worth their weight in salt. It's like they become Christians.
well, that's exactly right. Do you know Mr. Charlie Veach?
Yes, sir.
I spent a weekend at his house with his family. He's a really nice guy. There's some aspects to his personality that you don't see on camera, but he really is a genuine guy. He's also enormous, so it's kind of like if you're a normal sized guy, it's kind of like, whoa, dude's huge. Yeah. He was real sweet to me. They picked me up from the bus station and they drove me to the house, and the first night we were there, we partied, and it was awesome. And then he also when you get to a certain point and you realize, whoa, it really is a fight, good versus evil. Yeah. He's seen it. He's not as blacklisted as some people are, but the man has trouble because he's been accused of things online and I'm pretty sure it was the same. It reads the same. It was the same individuals who got stuck on me were the same ones. They have the same tactics. There's fingerprints there that look the same.
Yeah, you're noticing the same patterns, eh?
Same patterns, same words, same really crappy ability to make memes. Same people, basically, from behind the scenes, trying to shut the narrative down, trying to get people in trouble so that they won't continue talking. Yeah. But the other thing is, he drove 5 miles down. 5 miles. He drove 5 hours down from where he lives up in the northern part of the country, all the way down to visit me in prison, and then drove 5 hours back up. And the funny thing was, I had become known in the prison as I was sort of a celebrity in there. Like, people understood why I was there. They were aware of my presence because there weren't any other Americans in there. I was the only one. There was one guy, but he wasn't 100% American. And he was in there for straight up murder. Like, I was in there with murderers and arsonists, and, you know, it wasn't a camp. It wasn't like but anyway, he came up, and they actually gave us extra time because I think that somehow intelligence had come through that he was coming there, and that, you know, that basically we had a couple of hours there to talk, and then they gave us like a couple more. So we ended up having like 3 or 4 hours to sit there and talk. But he's quite a fine fellow, and we're still friends. And he also is a Christian. I sort of consider myself a Christian soldier. Like, I'm kind of allowed to spit and swear, and, you know, it's different. I'm not.
Yeah, you're real.
I guess.
So like, what's so like I was telling my girlfriend last night or the night before, you know, I asked for your old episodes of Hi, It's Rupert.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I sent you a couple of episodes.
They're so good. They're such classics.
Thank you.
Like, I was telling her I used to kind of idolize you, and when we first like would talk when I was in my like mid to late 20s, you know, a handful of years ago, like what, 6 years ago, something like that.
Yeah, I started doing those shows in like 2010.
And you were like one of the first to really put something together that was cool.
Well, as far as what we do, yeah, because
the truth community,
right? Because the internet is full of it's full of funny videos, and then everybody in the truth telling. I don't like using the word conspiracy, but in the conspiracy world, everybody was mad serious. They were just taking it so seriously, like, oh my God, and this is happening. And yeah, okay, yeah, it's happening, but the earth isn't going away. We're not all going away right now. So my whole thing was make videos that are cute and funny, and at the end have to stick you with some "you better think for yourself." Like, what do you think of this?
Well, what's interesting is like I just loved him. Like I like honestly, when you had a new video come up, I was like, awesome, you know.
I really appreciate that.
No, really, like when we first started talking, man, like all those years ago, I was nervous because I idolized you. I shouldn't have, but anyways, I was gonna say when I was showing my girlfriend your videos, I was like, man, like these are getting through, and you're planting seeds as a result because they're more receptive. You know, you're showing hilarious clips like that guy holding the chicken, and the chicken, goes crazy, and the guy
like a big turkey, yeah.
That. And so that kept her watching.
Well, that was the opposite. I claimed that was the opposite of the other video I had just shown, which it kind of was.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But so what's going on with Charlie Veach? Is he just out of the spotlight? Like, I think it'd be amazing if like you and Charlie like could come back, even like
Well, he's agreed to write. He's agreed to write the foreword of my book. He's gonna write like an intro piece once I get this thing done. He's doing that. He has a family. He actually has another. He's on his third kid. So he's not, I don't anticipate him coming back anytime soon. Now, he did come back briefly because I asked him to. I wrote a letter. He and I were writing letters back and forth when I was in prison. And I still have them. What a super sweet guy. We were writing back and forth to each other, and I was like, hey, listen, here's an idea. Why don't you come out of retirement for a minute just to like bring attention to me? And he did. He made some videos about my situation and stuck up for me. And that carried some weight. Now there's a lot of material about me online that I'm even unaware of. I don't go searching it out because it's daunting when you see people that don't know you and they're right. Now I love it. There's a part of me that loves it because it's like it kind of underlines my existence. Like the Daily Mail article that was written about me, that's just a work of fiction. Like, it's really awful. But at the same time, it's kind of a badge of honor. It might be preventing me from getting work or something like that.
Maybe, yeah. So I didn't know that you had the article written. Maybe next time we hang out, you should bring it on. And I don't know if you can read any details, but like, go over point by point and set the record straight or whatever, or just whatever. Just point out the blatant, lying face liars that they are and how they operate.
Well, the thing that happened was, I think that probably somebody from inside the government tipped off the Daily Mail to write this article and to have it released around the same time that we were getting to the end of the trial and towards sentencing, so that people would see it and then feel like they had a sworn duty as British people to really stick it to me, which they did. And that says more about them than it says about me, because I don't know, me and my friend were watching Good Will Hunting last night, sort of in the wrap up of the movie when there's like a breakthrough with the character Will, played by Matt Damon, and the psychologist or psychiatrist in the movie is Sean, played by Robin Williams. And they were talking about physical abuse, and the character Will Hunting says, yeah, he used to put out a stick, a belt, and a wrench. And Robin Williams says, yeah, I'd have to go with the belt there, kid. And he says, nah, I used to pick the wrench because F him, that's why. And that's kind of my mentality too. It's like, all right, do it. Like, you're the kind of person that's going to beat me with a wrench. Well, it says more about you than it does me. So.
Wow. You know what that reminds me of? Passion for the Christ.
Yeah, that's on the list of movies I will not watch.
Yeah, it's tough.
I've seen clips from it, and it seems to me like I know how it ends. It seems like a snuff film. It seems like a glorified snuff film.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Yeah, I agree.
I don't like the idea of it. Like I can say this. I've had my faith tested, and there are times when it doesn't exist to me, but it's always there in my heart. When I was walking through Rome, I had been there for about 2, maybe 3 weeks. And I remember I was walking, it was kind of a gloomier day. It seemed like clouds were rolling in, and I'm looking around at this antiquity, some of the stuff is just spooky. And I remember looking around thinking, something happened. Like something happened. There was a man, and there was some goings on that happened with this man that created all this. Now, if that's whether or not that's what he wanted, that's something different. But something happened. I remember just feeling like something happened. Like this didn't come from nothing. Somebody didn't just make this story up and people just ran with it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, cool.
I don't know.
Interesting. Okay, well, so I don't know. I figure I have about another like 20 minutes or so. Do you want to kind of get back on to?
I also want, yeah, I do. We'll get on topic here. I wanted to thank you for saying that you looked up to me in my videos, because they were difficult to make. They were a second job for me. It was very difficult to come home from work and then have this second job. Like I would change my clothes, I'd go exercise, and then I would come back, take a shower, and then sit down to start job 2. So trying to keep up with my body, keep up with the, my goal is to make 1 a day. And as they got more and more complicated, they would start to take 3 and 4 days. And then I would be like staying up too late and kind of burning the candle at both ends. But yeah, I anticipate that maybe I'll do another one soon, just to like bring it up again. And I have a feeling that it will be even more punchy. It'll be even more me than they have been in the past. And I do want to make some of the old ones available again, and not just to friends, but basically, if you're watching this, you want to watch them. I think somebody should pay me. If you want to, we should have like watch parties or something like that, where I give links and we can go in. I can open and close them, and we can just go in and and then if you want to grab it. But you're a jerk. Like you're a jerk for that. But
I'll say this, man. Yeah, please do. Please get back into this. I've been saying this to you through Messenger and stuff, but it's just, here's how I kind of see it too. It's like, it almost feels like a lot of us, went into the wilderness. It's like we kind of like had our mini prodigal sons experiences. I think there's multiple within life. And it's like, we went into the darkness. We had some dark nights at soul or whatever, but we've gained a lot of insights and treasures. And I think we're a lot more like, just powerful now, like, with the knowledge. And dude, I really want you to get back into to making content, because it's just so good. So I
super appreciate that. I mean, that's not what I wanted to be known for. Like, I'm a drummer. That's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be a famous drummer. I'm actually not bad at it. Just circumstantially, I just keep running into dead ends. I keep running into people who don't have my best interest in mind. But it's really great to hear that, and I super appreciate that. Truth be told, I need to spend some money on equipment, and it's not money I have now. And I'm hoping that somehow I'll be blessed again with the ability to travel and to make more stuff, and then to have. I need to think about it, and I need to move forward. I need to move forward with it. I've gone to hell and back a couple of times now, and I've been exposed to things that have left me. I can't believe I'm sort of back to normal after some of the things that have happened, and really leave an indelible mark on you when someone takes liberties with your safety and your freedom. It really makes you realize. So I'm glad that you brought this up. The biggest barrier to entry and barrier to success that we have right now is the fact that, and everybody notices this, but nobody talks about it, is that 10 years ago, or at the beginning of when I started doing the videos, people had not really become that aware of their surroundings. Now we have a switched on, especially in America, we have a switched on population of people who just in the last few years have become political experts. They think they know everything because they're reading stuff on Reddit and 4chan and 8chan. They think they know everything. I always thought when people snapped awake, they would become aware of some of the things that I became aware of that made me question reality and really start to engage it. Not at all. They are basically following this wokeness that the mainstream media set up. Like, it's not cool to challenge 9/11. It's not cool to bring up old stuff because they call it whataboutism. This is the new thing that the liberals do. They like, if you go, well, the same thing happened before, and they go, oh, well, that's a whataboutism. Yeah, you're trying to toss out history so that you can just isolate this one little incident and have your narrative surround it be the only narrative. And that's, I don't think so. But it's very frustrating to me to have so many people having such stunted, unimaginative, homogenized, and similar opinions to each other that now instead of 4% of the population calling us kooky conspiracy theorists, now we have like better than half of people just going, you're kooky, you're a conspiracy theorist.
At the same time, though, it's like our numbers are rising as well, like big time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, well, and this is part of why I'm like, we need people like you who are talented. It's like, yeah, you're good at drums, but how many souls is a good like solo drum whatever gonna win?
It just depends on how you do it. I think if you look at a band, certain bands like 311, the band Tool. I think Tool a long time ago realized that somewhere around the Enema record in 1996, they realized that maybe we shouldn't be so dark with this, because they've pulled back from that a little bit, and because they have an effect on people. So you're right, it's really difficult. I mean, we're talking about the top percentile of bands that have been out there having an effect. So yeah, that's one of the reasons that I decided to become kind of a talking head on YouTube, was because it used to be a place, if you had a unique opinion or you had something to say, that you could just sort of rise to the top page that day and sort of have your 15 minutes or whatever it was going to be. YouTube has lost, I think it was either in 1 month or 1 quarter, they've lost in the tens of billions of dollars in ad revenue, because they have switched their platform to being, they demonetize if you talk about something they don't like if you're going to make cat videos or top 10 videos about something stupid, you're good. If you make videos about pedophilia, weird stuff like that, they will immediately demonetize you. I think somebody has my back, because I've had a bunch of stuff happen where my account should have been eviscerated years ago, and it has not been. I don't have any strikes on my channel, but I've got a bunch of little, because I steal content. I steal content and then comment on it. So
yeah. Well, I think like I just want to make this point real quick. I've noticed with me and my videos, essentially, I just turn on the camera and this is my setting, and I just say things, and that's it. There's no production value. But I notice it's like my numbers hover around nothing. Like 200 is a decent video, but the average is like 100 and something.
That's not bad, actually. Like, there's a lot of people who put up videos that, like, have you ever found a video that you watched and you're like, how has no one watched this?
Yeah, a couple, sure.
I've seen a few that said no views.
Oh,
and I've been the first and only viewer. I'm just like, how did that happen?
Oh yeah, I see a lot of like 5 and 7 views, and it's been posted like a couple years ago. Yeah,
it's sad. It's sort of like, it's sort of sad. You go to like a lonely part of the internet that it's just kind of cobwebby and kind of hanging out there. But
my point is, I think we need people like you who actually are talented in this way. Like, I can talk fine, but it's like, your talent is talking. You just got what it takes to do this specifically, because then you can do the production value. And my point is, that's where the numbers come in. And that's how you reach, the kids.
Sorry, a little coffee went down the wrong pipe there. Yeah, it's the more youthful people, the younger generation that sort of, but I hate that about the marketplace for most things, is that, especially music, is driven by the tastes of 15-year-olds. Because when was the last time you went and purchased a bunch of music? Probably not anytime soon. But some latchkey kid who's got parents who are vying for their attention because they got divorced when the kid was 6, he's probably spent a couple $100 on tunes this month, and it's those people that are dictating what's hot and what's not.
Yeah,
and it's kind of bad. It also
so it's almost like we just have to make truth like cool, and it's not like we're not like a couple of like middle-aged weirdos scheming here. It's just the truth. Like truth is it's cool. Like it's reality. Like what else is it? You know,
it is cool. No, it's having your hair blown back by something is really awesome. Like when you find out something that even if it's conjecture, even if it's just something that you can't prove right away, even conjecture can be very stimulating and kind of open your mind up to things.
Yeah, it's better.
Why not?
Yeah, exactly. And people are hungering for this too. Like, you know, for me as a, you know, when I came to some truths, no matter how weird they were, it did something to me. It felt good. It was like it fed some part of me that hadn't eaten like ever. And it's like these kids are, you know, they're missing that. It's like they're missing that. So it's like, you know, when you give it to them, it's but you got to make it palatable. You got to make it kind of fun. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I just think it's a good formula that not enough of us are using. And so, yeah.
I'll tell you, I was living in Florida and I was sleeping on an air mattress. I was going to school. I had a night job. It was very difficult. It was not fun. I was not having a good time. I was smoking a lot of pot. I may or may not have been sniffing something in my nose at the time, because when you're in Florida, like you cross, like when you drive into Florida, you pull over into the little welcome center and they give you like a half a gram of Coke and some orange juice. So they're like, welcome to Florida. You know, have fun over there. So yeah, because that's how they talk in Florida.
Yep.
But I was laying there. It was the middle of the day. I didn't have anything to do really, but I was just laying there. I kind of took a nap, and then just something hit me. It was like, look on it. Something told me. It was like, look on the internet. You know, it took them 30, 40 years to crack that JFK thing. Maybe they cracked 9/11. And this was in like 2006 that this happened. And that's when I discovered all these. I always felt really alone in the fact that I felt like the world was screwed up. And then I found that, you know, you find all these people who go on shows and talk about it. So that's kind of where I turned the corner. And once I'd learned enough to talk about it, you know, I'd moved back up further up the coast. I don't like to give away my give away my position, but I moved back up the coast. I started doing radio 5 days a week, and that's what got me used to talking in front of a camera and talking into a microphone. Yeah. It was just something hit me, and I think that's the thing we're missing. I feel like I've mislabeled this video a little bit.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
I want to say this too. Like, it's like it's like nobody wants to join something if it means it's going to turn them into like a weirdo. Like, you know, if it's just like David Icke, and it's like, if you start, you know, looking into this stuff and aligning yourself, and that's like, it's like, okay, so I'm going to turn into David Icke, and these are the people who I will like get to hang out with. There's not much draw there. Like, we just have to show that it's like regular dudes who, you know, aren't in their basement.
What's with all this basement? Like, this is another thing. What's with all this basement hate? Like, people have like, you're in a basement somewhere. Like, practically, let's see, most of my videos, like almost all Heights Rupert episodes, were done because I was in a basement apartment. I loved that apartment. It was awesome. Everybody's like making fun of these like pipes hanging in the background and stuff, and like, yeah, so what? I'm in a basement. And then some of the other ones, like my buddy Jamie, like I would shoot videos in his freaking basement. Like, what's with all this basement hate? Like, all of a sudden, because I'm in the downstairs part of a house, all of a sudden my ideas don't matter and I'm a weirdo. It's like, only weirdos go in basements, kids. It's like, what is that?
Well, yeah, you're dwelling underground.
Hey, I would love to have a Hobbit house, wouldn't you? Big round door, little offshoots back into the side of a hill. Why not?
Yeah, they're awesome. Yeah. Temperatures all regulated really well. Yeah.
Yeah.
for sure. But you know what I mean? It's like, look, it's not just a bunch of freaking weirdos, you know? It's
No, it's
normal
not.
dudes. Like you can look into this and not become a loser, kind of thing.
Well, who cares? Like, that's the first thing is like, you need to get over, there's certain things dudes especially have to get over. Like, you have to get over your fear of the way certain women work. You have to get past that. You have to get past what people think of you. Like, it still plagues me a little bit when someone's like, because a lot of people meet me. I talk more than, so somebody asks me a question, there's usually a 3-part answer, and I can't get people to sit past part 1 because it's just like, well, there's this, then there's this that I think, but in the end, I think this. Most of my opinions have a sort of a trifecta, and I can't get people to listen to the setup, let alone the second part of the setup and the punchline. So it's just like people are dumb. Even like,
well, my point is, I'm speaking more to the, like Steve Buscemi in that video, in that movie. Hello, fellow kids.
yeah, I do. I don't remember what movie that was, but that's something
but
that,
I'm talking to the kids.
yeah.
I'm just talking to the younger generations because those are the ones who are, being so indoctrinated, and they're in the thick of it. And you know how it is when you're young.
Yeah, but you got to look. There's not been a more brainwashed generation than the ones that are coming up. Anybody that went through, like, anybody who was born in the 90s or were like in the single digits of their years in the 90s, they're the ones who really done got. They're the ones who really have been indoctrinated with. You remember seeing a shift in programming, and it got slicker. Those of us who grew up in the 70s and 80s, like watching 70s and 80s stuff, once it got around the corner to the 90s, there was some of it was still playing off that 80s stuff, but then you got this new stuff that came in, and like, I'm not watching the movie Frozen. There's certain things that I'm not watching. Like, some of this stuff is like Avatar. I've never seen Avatar. It just seems like there's something wrong with it. Anytime people really go all in on something, that's a sure fire bet that I'm not going to get into it because it's just ridiculous.
It's like once the Marxists seized enough power, that's when things start getting really shifty and like subversive, something like that. I'm half joking, but you know what I mean.
It is sort of the Borg have taken over, and if you don't agree with them, then you're considered other. And the weird thing about I hate to say it again, but the people who are on the left, the more liberal leaning, progressive individuals, their whole thing is about having been considered other and having been treated like less than people. So they take that notion and they don't try to end that cycle. They want to embarrass other people.
They want to use it to do the same thing to other people.
But they've all been given sort of a scientific song sheet that they all sing off of. Like, I basically trolled 3 threads lately. I heard the exact same things on each thread, and I was just like, they're not thinking for themselves. They're absolutely being stupid. And if it was more fractal, where everybody had just sort of started from the same thing and came up with their own thing, I would be like, that's brilliant. That is a individualistic thing that just sort of it's not the way it is. They're all saying the same, well, that's a whataboutism, which is a way of just like, we're not talking about old stuff because that really damages my thing. Like,
well, it damages their social reputation. It's like, and that's one of the main problems right now. It's like, it's this fear of social, being isolated from the group.
And you don't want to be ostracized for thinking the wrong thing. And that's really stupid. Wrong think. Yeah. And I asked one, like, is this wrong think? Is this like, am I not allowed to think this? Like somebody I've known since high school, I disagreed with something that they said about these concentration camps with the kids in it. I don't want to get into that whole narrative right now, but what I will say is that there have been reports of, child sexual abuse in these facilities. And it's just funny to me how pedophilia wasn't a problem for these people until it could have been used to damage the presidency. And that's really their goal, is to, well, it is fractal. Every single thing that happens, they try to turn it around and make it seem like the president has his hand in it, that he's doing it day to day, like he's just like focused on it. It's like, it doesn't work like that. The whole thing doesn't really work like that. He's not a king. And yeah, there's policies, but he's not.
How is he still alive?
Because he engaged the military. Because
Okay.
I have it on good authority that Obama did not listen to his Joint Chiefs of Staff at all, and they hated him for it. It slid the military back a decade, probably at least 8 years. And then Trump, the best thing that exists in this country is there is a good old boy network who aren't willing to let it go away. If you had somebody like Hillary in there, she would have basically cut this place up into pieces and sold it off to the highest bidder real quick. And there were people that were going, wait a minute, if we back her, they gamed it out. They were like, we're not going to have jobs. They're going to offshore all this stuff, and we're going to become part of this global hive mind that just completely we won't exist anymore as the United States of America. So the reason he's still alive, and he's also being pushed and pulled with this Iran thing, because there's still bad parts of the military that are in there pushing and pulling, trying to have bad things happen. They haven't been able to address that yet because there's sacred cows that are still in there from the Bush cabal era. But the reason he was able to make it through the elections and make it as far as he has been is because he's engaged the military. The people that are going against him are basically rogue portions of the CIA, rogue portions of the FBI, which they're trying to clear those people out. But the military versus the FBI, I can tell you who's going to win that one, because the military is more of an arsenal. They're a little bit more focused on maintaining American independence. We don't want to be stuck, and that's why he won. That's why he's still there, is because he did what he said the smartest thing he could do is that, guys, you're going to get your military funded again. That was part of, Make America Great Again, was get the military funded back up where it was supposed to be. Bill Clinton's balanced his budget by selling down the military, by peeling it backward, by getting rid of contracts, to the point where it was like, hey everybody, I balanced the budget. No, you didn't. You left us wide open for 9/11. Believe it or not, I was riding by the Pentagon on September 9th, 2001, and I was commenting to my friend. I was like, I don't feel right. Something doesn't feel right. Something's going to get hit in this country. We've sold down our military. But Bush had just come into office, and I pointed at the Pentagon. I was like, even that place could get hit. And 2 days later, it got hit, and I got a frantic phone call from my friend that was like, how did you know that? How did you know that was going to happen? It's just, I didn't, but it was just kind of an obvious thing that could have happened.
Well,
that's why Trump made it through, was because he promised the military funding.
Yeah. Well, I believe in things like, kind of intuition or premonitions. I think you can reconcile that with a belief in God still, because it's just been my experience in my own life, so I don't know how to make sense of it. But anyways, man, I have about 5 minutes. How do you want to wrap this up?
Well, I don't know. Should we stay true to the label that's on the video?
Yeah,
we can always change the label, but the whole state of the whole thing right now is we're waiting to see where the Nexium, because Anthony Weiner's laptop was entered in as evidence. And now we're just waiting to see what else is going to come of that, because there's a bunch of stuff on there that needs to be addressed.
Do we have like a timeline at all? Like, how fast is the information coming out? Like, do you know details? What's delaying it? Timelines?
In this particular case, I'm not going seeking details, because I'm letting other people sort of do because there's people doing research, and I'm kind of letting them do it. I like to catch I like to catch different outlets and then sort of piece it together. With that whole thing, you don't really know, because the people who are working on these indictments are really setting their ducks in a row. And that's why you see, like, Hillary tried to sneak into Ireland. Somebody from Ireland told me that's where she is right now. She's just hiding.
Was that when was this? Is
this week, like some point this week? Yeah, like she's over there hanging out. You've got Obama is hanging out in Italy, and he's like hanging out with Bono, and he's hanging out with George Clooney. These people are hiding. They're on summer vacation, but their entire lives are a vacation. I mean, the Obamas were staying in a $60,000 a week villa in Italy, and we're still footing the bill for all these people's security. Like when someone becomes president, we pay for their security detail for the rest of their life, and that's in addition to whatever else it is that they, laws they can pass to keep themselves paid. So that's a mess. But what we're waiting to see is what else happens, other than these lone wolf pedophiles that get caught with, like, we just had a bus driver in America get caught with 100,000 images. 100,000. You see a lot, but that's a lot for an average consumer of that particular bit of entertainment. 100,000 videos and still pictures of, yes, drive you nuts. But we'll do this again. We'll do one of these lives again. We'll keep doing this, and I'll try to prepare a little bit more stuff for the next one.
Yeah, sounds good. I mean, I kind of like this setting too. It's nice to just be able to kind of chat. But I think we should set up a structured video, really kind of going over the specific topic of pedophilia and Satanism and satanic ritual abuse.
I think we should go in hard on the next one. I think that we should strike harder on the next one and talk about the where, how, and whys of that whole aspect of human nature. I wouldn't even call it nature, but people do this. People do this stuff. I set out to maybe disprove it in a way. Like, maybe people are overreacting. Maybe this is BS. Maybe, maybe it's just a bunch of made up bullcrap. And as I found out slowly in a very slow motion, horrifying series of events, that no, it's not fake, it's not made up, and that people are still following ancient traditions of treating each other poorly, basically. We'll go into that next time, even though it's something I've talked about many times, is keep hammering away. Maybe somebody will see it, and who knows, maybe we'll trigger somebody who has the silver bullet. Yeah, that can at least start a cavalcade in their part of the world.
Sure. Yeah, sounds good to me. Let's keep plugging away, and let's get them.
I'm gonna try to start another Heights Rupert video maybe today. First thing that needs to happen is I have to have at least 3 videos. That's kind of the thing. It's the trifecta of videos, and then I end up feathering other stuff in there. So usually takes about a minute and a half worth of material and expands into like 9 or 10 minutes. So
did you see? I just watched another video today of Angela Merkel again.
For shaking.
Yes.
People are saying that could possibly be the Kuru.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, it's weird.
It scares me. I feel bad for anybody that has I was talking about this in another. Was it us? Was it we?
No, it was us. Yeah, we're talking about cannibalism.
I feel bad for anybody that has a demyelinating disease where they're not in control of their body. It's frightening. It's difficult to watch. It hits you in the heart. It makes you feel sorry for them. But if it's something that happened naturally, then God doesn't like that person, or circumstance doesn't like that person. Or maybe that's just the way it is. Maybe that's just something that happened naturally because of the course of genetics. But there is also the possibility that they were engaging in the consummation of something that they shouldn't have been, and their body got sick as a result. But we won't know. I don't think we'll know But yeah, Hillary definitely had a problem. She was very sickly during the whole election cycle. There was that one time where she was spotted with, she had crapped her pants basically.
Oh, I don't think I saw that.
Yeah, she was going up in an airplane and it looked like she had crapped her pants, which is incontinence from behaviors that would cause that to happen. And it also could be the fact that she's getting older and that she's probably sick with something, with something maybe akin to or Kuru, and that could be us. I don't know. All I know is that Satanism now has, in at least one sect in America, has 501c3 status, which is nonprofit status, and they're tax-free and they're considered an actual church, and that statues of the Baphomet seem to be popping up in different places. And these are not cheap statues. Nobody's brought up that fact that these are expensive, difficult to produce, large statues that cost money, like something like the Georgia Guidestones. Like that wasn't cheap. That was a you're probably looking at tens of thousands, if not $100,000 for something like that. Those are 19-foot tall, solid pieces of granite, or I don't know what they're made of, but that is not something that just gets put up cheaply. Somebody is dumping money into this bullshit.
Yep.
So maybe on that note, I don't know. Is that it? Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. I gotta run.
All right, well, guys, if you've joined in, thank you very much. And then I don't know, you got anything else to say there, Mr. Adam?
No, man. Just make more Hi, It's Rupert videos. That's about it. And it's good talking with you. And this feels right. And let's keep doing it.
That's cool. I don't know. You got time later today?
Possibly.
All right.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll talk.
We can handle this off air. Peace, YouTube people. Thank you so much for coming over. Some of the people that came over from my other Facebook live stream, thank you very much. So glad to have you over here. Glad that some people participated in the chat, and I appreciate that. We'll end this. It'll go up, and then all comments under the video get held for review by me, because the last time that I just let comments go, they spiraled out of control, and I'm not having that again. So until next time, peace, brother.
See you, man. See you guys.